off with Sheena, and then we will go to Darren, followed by Alex and Steve Reed.
Cool, cool.
Well, let's try this thing again. T Mac, welcome to the Carolinas. Can you walk us through the emotions as you took that phone call?
Yeah, man. I just feel just relief. Just finally knowing what team I get to play for. Uh man, I'm just blessed. I'm super grateful for this opportunity and this moment, and I'm just taking it all in right now.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
T-Mac, when you think about this offense you're joining at the moment, what do you know about this crowd and how do you think you're going to fit into it?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be amazing. First things first, obviously, Bryce Young, Cali to Cali connection. That's immediately. And as well as, the other receivers, Xavier, Adam Thielen. And I feel like, our OC coach Isaac would definitely, put it together. I know Coach Canales calls the plays, and I'm confident in them, and they're confident in me, and I'm just ready, to take the Panthers to the next level.
Yeah, what do you remember about those interactions with Coach Canales in particular through this process?
Shoot, you know what? It was really just good vibes. It was nothing but good vibes. Really talking about just regular stuff. He's a kid from Carson, um, and I'm from Cali as well. So, I feel like we hit it off really well, and um, really it was just kind of they took a chance on me, and I'm super blessed.
Hey, T Mac. So going off that, so quickly, you and Bryce Young went to rival high schools. I recently learned.
Yeah.
What about, do you remember? I know you guys weren't exactly the same years, but what do you remember about Bryce playing, and does that make it more exciting to be able to play with him?
I mean, shoot, the first thing I remember about Bryce is he whooped us his senior year on national television by 45 points. Um, but man, I always saw him growing up. He was that dude in eighth grade on the IE Ducks. He went to Cathedral. Was a guy transferred to Mater Dei. Finished the number one quarterback, number one player in the country in 2020. I mean, and he won the Heisman in college. I mean, he's literally been the best player at each level of the game. And I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a part of something like that. And I'm just fortunate, that he sat on the table for me, and that I'm able to play with him, and um, man, like I said, that connection is gonna be something special.
And then can you take us through your apparel tonight? I know that Polynesian culture means a lot to you. Can you
Yeah.
explain why you're wearing what you're wearing?
So as far as just the lay.
Well, that for sure, but you can go through the rest of the fit too.
Oh yeah, don't mind the color. I know I got the wrong colors on, but I'm wearing purple. It's my favorite color. It represents royalty. Then I got some gold chains, black turtleneck. Wearing some Travis Scotts because I'm a Jordan athlete. And then shout out to my grandma for making these lays, man. Everybody in the green room had it on, so we did something that's never been done. We put the lay on the commissioner, so hopefully we can start a new trend.
Thanks, man.
Hey, T Mac, Steve Reed from the Associated Press. First of all, welcome to Carolina and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey, tell me, can I follow up a little bit on the relationship with Bryce? So, have you met, or is it just kind of you know him from a close distance, or have you guys talked? And tell me a little bit about that relationship, if you can. I just got a quick follow up after that.
Oh yeah, we kind of just like I said, we played against each other in high school, so we kind of just knew of each other,
Yeah.
recognized our each other's talents. But I was fortunate enough to recently meet him, probably about a month ago for the first time at 3D QB in Cali, and I was fortunate enough to it was my first time ever, catching the ball from him and running routes for him. So I guess you can say we got a head start on our low chemistry.
That's good. And as a receiver, what do you feel like you bring to the Panthers?
Oh man, I think I bring a lot. I feel like I'm a reliable receiver, one that can play inside and outside whatever they may need me. Um, But also, outside the field, I feel like I'm gonna bring a good energy to the locker room. I feel like I'm gonna build that camaraderie, that relationship with not only Bryce but the other receivers in the room, as well as Coach Moore. And I have faith in Coach Moore and his coaching, that he's gonna get me to that next level. And at the end of the day, we chasing greatness, so that's the plan.
All right, and we will go to Mike Solarte, followed by Joe, and then throw it over to David Newton.
Where you say, T-Mac, welcome to Carolina. Mike Solarte with Spectrum News One. You touched on it a little bit earlier about the wide receiver group. Can you kind of offer up some thoughts on being able to work with a guy like Adam Thielen, who's seen it all and pretty much done it all? I mean, could you have found a better mentor for your first year?
I mean, yeah, that's a blessing for me in my position. Obviously having Adam Thielen, he's a seasoned vet. He's been in the league for a little while, so he's pretty much seen the ins and out of this league. And just me being able to come in and just uh, basically, him to take me under his wing. And although I got drafted 8th overall, I'm coming into the facility with an open mind. At the end of the day, I'm ready to be as great as possible. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for this team to be as good as it needs to be. And I'm all ears and open minded to the wisdom and the knowledge that anybody has to give me.
And just as a follow-up to that, what do fans not know about your game that you're ready to put out there in front of them?
On my game, shoot, man, my versatility. um, I know we got a few other receivers in the receiver room, and I feel like our receiver room is going to be incredible. So, I'm willing to play wherever, whether it's X, F, Z. And I feel like we're going to put that on the nose as far as my versatility goes.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Hey, T-Mac, welcome with The Athletic. Could you expand a little bit on what you said earlier about Bryce standing on the table for you during the process?
So yeah, he just told me at 3D QB, that he's been, sitting on the table for me, going into the uh Mr. Morgan's office, going into Coach Canales' office, and really just sitting on the table for me and telling him, hey man, we need to pick this guy. And um so although, I feel like I did what I needed to do to be in the position, I gave credit to Bryce for, vouching for me, and ultimately, for them taking the chance on me.
How big a deal is that? I mean, it sounds like you guys were this. Did you say you were the same year in high school?
No, he's 2 years older than me.
Okay, sorry about that. But you guys are both young guys. I mean, how about the opportunity to kind of grow with him as he takes the next step, as you take the first steps in your
Yeah.
career?
I mean, it's a blessing for me knowing that I have a young quarterback to grow with throughout in the league. And just being able to have a quarterback that's reliable, being able to have a quarterback that trusts in me. And I know he's solid people's. When I met him, he's a good kid, man. It's definitely someone I look up to growing up. So being able to finally be on his team, and fortunate enough to catch his passes. I mean, I feel like sky's the limit for both of us in this offense.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
Hey, teammate David Newton, ESPN.com. So what do you remember about Bryce's game and that 5-point loss?
Oh man. I mean, first of all, his team was the best, well, the second best team in the country that year. They lost to St. John Bosco. But um in my eyes, he was he was the best player in the country, and to everybody else's eyes. But man, he was just really good. He knew how to get his teammates involved. He was super patient in the pocket. He threw a pretty ball. And he has swag on that field. You can tell he's confident, but also, calm, collected. Um, and I feel like that's kind of a reflection of my game as well. I feel like we both kind of the moment's not too high, too low for us, and I feel like we'll complement each other really good.
And having said that, have you followed his career the last couple of years, and how surprised are you that he struggled so much those first couple of years?
I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, he's been the best player at every level, and obviously these past couple of years, he struggled a little bit, and I was surprised. He one of the best players I've ever seen in my life, and like I said to somebody else earlier, just towards the end of the season, you saw a glimpse of his greatness, and it looked like he finally got his swagger back, finally got his confidence back, and that's a huge testament to Andy Dalton just kind of bringing him along. And man, I feel like this is the year where Bryce will explode, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
I think you're the second T-Mac for this team. They had one in 1995, way before you were born. That was called Tim McKyer. So
Oh wow,
anyway, thanks a lot.
appreciate
Appreciate
it. I appreciate it, man.
All right, we will go over to Vashti, and we have time for a couple more. So if you have any other questions, please raise your hand.
Hi, T-Mac, Vashti Hurd with Carolina Blitz. Welcome to Carolina.
Thank you.
I wanted to, just for clarification, you said you want to be called T-Mac and then you had another name. Can you say that again?
Oh yeah, my name right here on my chain, Nalo.
Nalo.
Nalo, Nalo.
Tell us what that means, the background behind it, please.
So it's kind of a nickname that my friends gave me. Being from Waimanalo, Hawaii, on the east side of Oahu, and I kind of just, like I said, they gave me the nickname, and I kind of turned it to my own brand. Obviously, I got it on my chain, I have it on my T-shirts, and basically, just kind of wanted to make it my brand, and that's what it is.
Thank you. So T-Mac or Nalo?
Hey, that's it. There you go.
All right. Also, I wanted to know about your, I know you had a visit here in Charlotte. Just tell us the vibes that you got from Dave Canales and how you guys meshed personality-wise. He said you were a good fit personality-wise for this team. Why do you think that is?
I mean, first things first, he's a Cali dude, so that's immediate chemistry. He looks like I mean, he felt like a good just father, good husband, somebody that I would potentially want to be around, and I'm finally fortunate enough to actually be around him. So, but that facility, they gave me nothing but good energy, good vibes, cool peoples, definitely some of that people that I can mesh with. So, I'm just looking forward to coming to Charlotte tomorrow and seeing everybody.
Thanks.
All right, and we will wrap with Scott Fowler.
Hi, T-Mac. Congratulations with the local paper here, the Charlotte Observer. I wonder if there are any wide receivers in the NFL you would currently compare yourself to, or, guys that you've emulated, idols in the position, people that you want to be like.
I mean, shoot, first things first, my favorite football player ever is Larry Fitzgerald. And then two receivers that, I watch and, I feel like I can emulate and similar play styles is Mike Evans and Keenan Allen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. T-Mac, if you don't mind staying on, that would be great. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Appreciate y'all.